Hello world, welcome to another episode of Working Musicians. I'm John Thiessen, president of El CAMINO School of Music, Repair, and Technology, and today I am joined with world-renowned singer-songwriter and producer Jabari Clay. Jabari, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So Jabari, people that might not be familiar with your work, tell us a little bit about your background.
I'm a singer, songwriter, and a pianist from Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
And some of the acts that you've been associated with? I know there's too many to name. Give us a couple.
BB King's All-Star. I've also been a part of Dave Cause, The Soul Train, Motown as well too. Over the years, I've traveled to 6 continents, everywhere except for Antarctica.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, making the world your own, right?
Yeah, through music.
So Jabari, how did you get into music as a kid?
I got into music through my aunt. I was a really, let's say, active kid. My aunt was a music teacher, and I would get in trouble, and I would have to come in, and she would make me sit down, and I just heard so many people doing the same lesson over and over, so it just became second nature, and I kind of fell in love with it, and it kind of kept me out of trouble a little bit.
When did you start, let's just say, when did you start performing or playing as a professional musician?
7 in church.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 in church. I remember playing piano for Easter Sunday. It's my first Sunday. I was about 7 years old. I was singing, had a song to sing, and that was my first professional gig because I got paid for it.
Now, how many gigs, let's say in 2019, how many gigs did you play?
2019, I played 288 gigs.
288 gigs.
288 shows.
So now we're in 2020 and we're all in lockdown and quarantine. So how many gigs have you played since the quarantine?
Since the quarantine, I did 1 live show, but it's definitely a challenge and a struggle a little bit to find work, especially for live musicians during this pandemic. Yeah.
What are the things that you miss most about playing, out live?
Connecting with people, making people, feel good, making them, appreciate music, and just a whole different, I miss connecting with people.
Now, 288 gigs, and we don't know when the industry is going to get back together. So how is that affecting your, this was your job, this is your sole, your career, your sole way to make money. How has that affected you financially, personally and financially?
Tremendously. I perform, let's say, about 4 or 5 nights out of a week, and you're not performing at all. If you're not singing, you're not playing, you're not eating. I mean, that's just the reality of the business. So it's affected me tremendously. Yeah.
Now, I know that you had an album that was about to come out and a tour scheduled. You tell us a little bit about that and how that's affected the momentum and the trajectory behind your solo career that you're working on now.
Well, yeah. I invested a whole 1.5 years in a project, thousands of dollars. Hours of planning, hours of rehearsals and schedules to do a tour that won't happen. Yeah.
And how is that at the end of the night? How is that making you feel?
Not so good. Not so good. It stress you out. You just wonder what's the next phase. I mean, right now it's just a reset. A forceful reset.
How have you been adapting, or in what ways have you been adapting to still try to get your music out there?
I went back in the studio and just started making different styles of music. The good thing about it was I didn't have this pressure to, be some type of artist or perform any type of, different types of music. I just was able to focus on, what I wanted and what I felt good and what, sound good to me, and, no direction, just pure liberation.
And this is music you've been creating, not the album you were working on. Mm-hmm. This is new music you've created during the quarantine.
Absolutely.
Do you have is it a different sound, or how is it different? How is this different than what you were putting out as your solo career?
Well, the solo album was, highly produced. Everything was attention to details, different instruments on it, violins, trumpets, oboes, and this is just solely the basics of music. It's back to good drum beats, good cadences, good lyrics, and just good feel-good music. I wanted to create something that kind of people can kind of escape from, especially throughout this, and feel good and play the music in the house, in the backyard. It's more of an island vibe to it. The sound of it is not overproduced. It's not any type of genre. It's just feel good music.
Do you feel that this has been a creative time for you? I mean, I know that you're obviously dealing with the reality of the situation, but also, you have this reset, you have this free time.
It depends on the day. It
Okay.
depends on the day. Some days, especially Fridays and Saturdays, when that's kind of prime time for entertainers and musicians, and you're sitting home and you really don't have an outlet. So, yeah, I mean, it varies. And sometimes I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm able to just create music and not have the pressure of or influence of anything else.
You mentioned one of the live streams that you did, the only show you've actually played since the quarantine.
Yeah.
How do you like the format of live stream, and what do you think? What do you think there are pros and cons of live stream versus playing to a live audience?
First, I hated it. I absolutely didn't see too much art, and I just thought it was just people giving away their art, musicians, artists giving away their talent for free. Where most of the time you go to show and it's beneficial for you. In this regard, you're just pretty much sending your music out. Well, the good part about that is everyone is getting a chance to hear you. Everyone's sitting in one spot. They're at home, collecting their thoughts. And I've realized that music is, regardless through a computer screen or through a TV or face-to-face, it's still, it's joy for people. It brings them joy. So I kind of got over that and decided that I wanted to do a live feel, and I wanted to put music out that feel good to people.
And you feel you can still connect to an audience in that way,
Absolutely.
even though they're not giving it back to you, at the end of the song and giving you the clapping and stuff.
Well, you get a wave, or you get hands, or you get that phone call or that video chat to say, "Man, thank you so much for doing that. I forgot how you sound, or I forgot how it was to go. Me and my wife got dressed up and we went to your show. We sat on our living room couch and we came to your show." So I think that's amazing. So you still get the joy from it.
Now, obviously, a lot more free time. You're doing, you're still being creative. Any new hobbies, or how is Jabari occupying his time?
I decided to actually become a piano instructor online.
Okay.
For a bit, just to get back, and just to kids, to get back and to help out for the time being, because we don't know, how long or how it'll affect the generation of kids that are coming up behind us with music and the things that we had. And as you know, music and special instruments are hands-on. So I'm actually teaching piano lessons online to little kids now.
What, for somebody who's been to 6 continents and toured the world, what is your prediction on the future of the music industry, and how is the current situation potentially going to dictate or change what we've known for all these years as the music industry?
Ooh, I do not think that music will be the same. That's just my personal opinion. I think that it changed the way that we connect with people. I think people are afraid. They don't want to be in large masses of people or large groups, and that is definitely half of the energy right there at a show, is connecting and having the crowd there and the participation. I don't think it'll be the same for a while. I do think we have the chance to get it back, but not for a while.
And do you think that it will ever be what it was? Rolling Stones are going to go on tour. They're going to pack the place. We just had a live stream WrestleMania, but it was going to be live in front of 40,000 people.
No.
Do you see that ever being the same?
Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. And if we do, have that, if a large mass of people or concerts, it'll be so much, precaution, the face mask, the hand sanitizers. It'll take away from it a little bit to me. Yeah.
Have there been artists that you've now with more time, have you been able to expose yourself to other artists? Because I know that when you're on tour and you're kind of living in a little bit of on the bus in a vacuum, kind of in tunnel vision, now that you've had this time, have you been exposed to any artists that maybe you never had the chance to check out before?
Yeah, tons of artists. CC Tennille been one of them. Chris Thomas, who was on The Voice, who's a good friend. My cousin Michael Kilgore, his album was amazing. So I'm getting a chance to check these albums out because a lot of times you're on tour, you know, it's hard to focus on anything but the music that's in front of you. So I've learned a lot of new indie music, a lot of fusion. And when I meditate, I listen to a lot of fusion music. So yeah, I've heard great artists that are out there right now.
So Jabari, I mean, a lot of not only working musicians, but people that are out there, you know, they still need inspiration. You've always inspired me. Do you have a message, to leave it on a positive note to give our audience about either the future of the music industry, the future of Jabari, positive thought to help us overcome this as human beings?
Stay doing what you were doing before this happened. Stay doing what you were doing. I think we hit reset, and I think it's a great time for us to, accumulate our art and, just have so much of it that the world, won't have room to receive it all. Stay working. Stay doing what you're doing. Stay true to yourself. Stay positive.
Jabari, thank you so much for being here, sharing your story, sharing your positivity with us.
Yeah.
For Jabari Clay, I'm John Thiessen. This is Working Musicians. Stay tuned for future episodes on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep sharing that positive energy. We'll see you real soon.